Alright, what's up, world? This guy Hassan, and I'm here with the Struggling Day Trader channel and go over my trades for today. Man, today was like, man, I thought today was gonna be another killer day. Today looked like my second green day in a row. I successfully did not break my number one rule, which is no going long under VWAP. Like, I feel like that was cemented yesterday. Even when I lost my head and kind of got into revenge mode, I still did not try anything below VWAP, even though like everything was below VWAP at one point. So I possibly could be completely over that mistake, which is huge because I've lost so many trades due to that alone. Okay, and just to show the kind of day I almost had, I stopped doing that. This is how it was looking at one point. Right, so one green trade, red trade for 1R. Green trade was for, this was actually 3R, but I was down 1R already, so I got my R back and had 2R profit. Microsoft, a little more than 1R loss. Coin, superstar, like amazing rockstar trade on Coin. And then another 1R lost on Amazon. This is the type of morning I started out with. Like, at this point, I took a screenshot, was feeling good, you know. And honestly, what I've been telling myself is those first 4 trades I get in, those need to be my trades for the day. Like, after this time, usually by the time I'm closed out of these trades, my alarm's going off saying no more trades for the day. And that should be it. Like, I really shouldn't be taking more than 4 trades a day. I shouldn't. But a $100 day is like, we can do better than that. You know what I mean? You can do better than that. And so let's get to it. So here's crowd. Now, when I got into crowd, I oversized. Well, let's talk about what happened. So it opened up, nothing exciting here. Put my blue line over the opening range. It sells off. I mean, it pops up over that range of the first 2 candles, but it sells right back down. Pops right back up, tests VWAP, then retakes VWAP, goes up, and then tests that support line, right? And then takes off. And now it has my attention because now I'm waiting for the pullback to VWAP so I can hop on. So it does this and kind of consolidates. And then I see, okay, we got not only my high volume support line that I just drew, but this green dash line is yesterday's close. So yesterday's close is a pretty significant level. You know what I mean? If something's holding yesterday's close, I feel better about that support than HVS, and it's above VWAP, so you know what I mean, it's playable. But I definitely rushed the entry. I basically wanted to take the break over this area. Let me get my epic pen out. Yeah, so basically I wanted the break over that, right? So I set my buy order up right over that line, and let's see here. Set my buy order right over that line, and of course it just peekaboos up to enough to tag me in with too many shares because I wanted to put my stop down at least under this next day close. But I did not, so I basically just raised my stop up and got out of there for like, I think it was like I don't know, $10, negative 10 or something like that. And it might have been an R. It might have been an R. Excuse me. But then it still maintained this low right here, and by now I'm pretty convinced that it's getting ready to make a move up, and so I get right back in over the top of this candle. Stop under the low. It goes up, makes a higher high, higher low. This actually would have been a better place to add than this. I was probably hunting for something else at that time. But I went in pretty light here. I think I went in light enough to put my stop down here. And so I was pretty anxious to add. I went ahead and added there, and it worked out. All the way up here. Now, trying to see when this volume came in. Okay, so it wasn't like a high volume thing where I saw it was about to turn around. But generally, when the candles start getting really narrow, it's either about to pop up or it's about to pop down. So I like to raise my stop up pretty tight. And I handled this really well. I wanted more from this, but I was already in 3R territory, and there was no reason to let it pull back from here, right? Because it could pull back all the way to VWAP. If it does, I can just get back in, and my take profit is 3R. So I did want more from this because I know crowd has the potential to move, $10 a day. But what I did, I deleted my take profit order, and I just started moving my stop up aggressively. And that worked out here. I didn't get as much as I could if I had left my take profit order in, because it did hit that, but I had already removed it. But I did good by being aggressive with my take profit and not like trying to give it more room so it can wiggle around or whatever. So cool. Very happy with this trade, right? My notes on this trade would be wait for pullback, not consolidation, right? Because that's basically what it started to do after this first pullback. Like, this isn't really a good enough pullback for this type of move, right? So either it's going to pull back, right? It's going to basically needs to cool down. So either it's going to cool down by pulling back, or it's going to consolidate, right? So when it starts consolidating, you want to see a separation from the consolidation. Like, you really wanted to pull down from that. And I mean, I don't know if this actually qualifies either. Really, I should have waited till this candle here. But, it worked out. I have my stop, in safe enough territory that it didn't come back and test it. But technically, I mean, it's floating above VWAP, but I had all this support here. So I'm not mad at this. I'm a little mad at this, though. So yeah, like, wait for the actual pullback. Like, at least here you can see, okay, it did pull back, right? And then we got this little candle just by the break over the high. So that worked out. And also, adding is a new setup. Wait for setup. Right. So after I missed this ad, I mean, I guess at that point I'm just it's high enough to where my average is going to be low enough that my stop can be still in a safe area. But it gets risky when you start adding just kind of willy-nilly, I guess. But all in all, great trade, worked out, 3R profit. Can't be too mad at myself for that. All right, Microsoft. Okay, so with Microsoft, all right, so we had our open. Put my line right there. And we just crash down on the open. Then we trade back up and make a high. And then we pull back. And this is a good pullback area, but then we start consolidating. Right? And then it breaks down from that consolidation, and I would say makes a new low, right? And this is a lower low. And then we make a higher high. I guess if we're looking in reference to this, this is definitely a lower high, right? I was kind of undecided on what to make of this area. Like, do I consider it kind of a high? But nah, this is the high, this is the low, and this is a lower high with a long top tail. So honestly, it's screaming, I'm going down. I'm going down. I wish I would pay attention to what the actual candles are saying. Sometimes I'm looking for a setup so much that I'm not really paying attention to what the candle is saying, right? Like this rejection is basically testing this support line or resistance line and getting rejected like heavily. That's a long tail, right? Like I should wait for more confirmation. Not only that, but it's still a lower high, lower low, lower high. Like I don't know. I should have been able to disqualify this trade. Like you're supposed to be looking for reasons to not take the trade, and I had 2 reasons: lower high plus long top tail. Definitely could have stayed out of that trade. Yeah, it just barely ticked me in. The top of this candle was 56 and this was 61, so it just came up, tapped me in, and fell right out, you know. So yeah, that wasn't very good. And then I think later on in the day I did try another trade, but again we have a lower low. We do make a higher high, but we don't really make a low here. We just kind of consolidate to the side. And I buy the break of the consolidation, which seemed to work out, but the SPY was really volatile today, and it just kept pulling everything down. Like I'm talking, SPY was making big red candles today. It would go up and then just like huge red candles pulling it down. So it definitely affected my trades. I got stopped out of this, and I got stopped out of coin when that happened, and I felt like it was unjust, like it wasn't fair. But you know, that's the market. But I mean, not a terrible entry, not a terrible play. It definitely worked out right away, and ad was pretty decent too. But when it got up here, the SPY just slammed down and took everything with it. So small loss on this second trade. I think maybe like a $10 loss on this second trade, or maybe like $6. Very small loss. So I was glad I was aggressive with my stop at this point. So yeah, I'm not gonna take notes on that one. Coin. Oh man. Remember when I showed you the screenshot earlier that coin was up $119, right? And now it's negative 32.88. And I'm gonna tell you how that happened. So all right, so coin opens up undecided, topping and bottoming tail. Next candle soars through that previous high and gets beat right back down, right? Comes down, makes a new low, and then comes right back up and makes a new high, right? So we got a higher high here, a higher low. That would have actually been a great spot to buy right there. I was regretting not buying there. I think that's why I maybe kind of actually this wasn't a bad entry at all. But this is the most ideal place I could have entered on this, I feel like. But I missed that. Made another higher high and a higher low. So I put my order in the high over that candle, and I get ticked in, but went in way too heavy. This candle here is $1.50 candle, And so I should have had like 35 shares. No. I should have had like 15 shares. 15 shares in order to keep my risk at 1R, which is $25 for me. But I went in with 50. I looked at it and was like, oh, okay. And then I just didn't calculate that properly. And I wanted to get right back out of the trade. So I just dragged my stop up pretty tight and got myself out. But yeah, if I would have gotten in properly and put my stop under this candle, this pullback, I would have been safe in that pullback, and I probably could have just added right there, and been cool. But anyway, I just kind of basically canceled that trade, got back in with proper size, 15 shares, stop under the low right there, and it was all good. It was all good, and I did cancel my order again, my take profit order on this one, just because it looked so bullish when it got up to here. It broke through 271. That was kind of the level I was worried about. And once it broke through there, it looked like it had no problem going higher. So I canceled my take profit order and started dragging my stop up. And when this volume bar came in, to me, that's ending volume. Shout out Jared from Live Traders. Check out his YouTube channel. But that is ending volume, right? This volume signaled the beginning of the move, and this volume was the end of the move. And so I dragged my stop up tight to make sure I grabbed that, and was up 5R, almost 5R on that trade. Minus, I think it was a 5R trade minus this small loss I took. It would have been 5R for sure. Great trade, right? So my criticism on that is, take time to size properly. I've been having this issue the last few days of just kind of wanting to get into a trade so fast, not properly calculating my share size. I got my calculator on deck right here, you know what I mean, for them quick calculations. So that's inexcusable. Gotta not do that. Okay. Now, ARM. Actually, we're gonna come back to coin. Amazon was the last trade I had on my screenshot before things started going bad. So let me draw my line here. Got the high volume support. We do trade above that, but get like super hammered down, right? This is a massive rejection. 3 times, just like massively rejected. So much it makes a lower low, lower high, and a lower low again, right? And then another lower low. Like that level is it ain't happening, right? But it comes back over VWAP and over this back into the opening range. So I've been kind of playing the top and bottom side of that opening range as playable. I mean, I have noticed every day it does kind of respect that area. So it's back into the range, and higher high, higher low. I don't like that this closed below VWAP though. That's kind of your first. Be careful. And then, is this a lower high? Kinda. 19, and this is 20. This is not a lower low though. It's almost a lower low. But I don't know. I'm feeling good about it. Amazon was really good yesterday. It seemed like it should have room to run, but got in, get triggered in, and get stopped out. Like, okay, it happens. Setup didn't work out. I should have been wary of all this trading volume, this rejection that happened right there. But thought it had room to go. The SPY was looking bullish at the time. Didn't work out. Cool. Moved on. 1R loss. Not the end of the world. Now, enter ARM. Alright, so nice strong open on ARM. Everything sold off after the open. Comes down, makes a low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, lower high, higher low, and takes VWAP with a nice run, and then a breakout way over the opening volume, right? Comes back down, and I am impatient. I am impatient. I don't wait for VWAP. I see this volume bar come in on this candle, and I feel like, okay, that means it's about done. But generally, that happens, and it still has a little ways to go before it turns around. I know this. I thought about this, but then I saw the change of color candle there, and I was ready to get in. So I don't even know how I got into this trade. I'm pretty sure I put my order above 135.20, and this candle did not go over that, but it tagged me in. I remember watching it, and it just snatched my order and tagged me in. So I stopped right out, which I guess I probably would have got tagged in on the next candle anyway. But stopped out, saw the narrow range candle, got back in again, lower high, lower low at VWAP. That's what I'm supposed to wait for. This is what I'm supposed to wait for. Like, yeah, so just super impatient. This is what happens when you've made your decision that the stock is going to go up. Like, you don't care what the chart is telling you. This stock is going up. I need to get in on it right now. Like, this is what's happening right now on. Did not wait for VWAP. And higher high, higher low. Right? Like, when it starts doing that, you gotta wait for it to reconfirm that it's going, right? Like, this shouldn't have been entered until here. Like, this higher high and this higher low. Now we're talking, right? Now we can get in. So it just gets hard to sit on hands, man, when you've already convinced yourself that it's going, and you're no longer waiting for your setup. You're just trying to get on the stock. You think you're waiting for the setup, but you're just like, first hammer candle that you see, you're gonna jump in there, even if it's consolidating, right? So gotta do better. This did work out. I had my stop far enough under VWAP to not get stopped out here. So I mean, as far as entries, at least it's very close to VWAP, and I was able to put my stop loss a good distance below VWAP. You know what I mean? So, but after two trades, man, after these two losses, like rule break losses, my head is messed up. Like, I'm in revenge mode. I'm angry on the inside. I'm not like fuming or anything, but you know, I'm mad about that. And now I think after these two losses, I'm down almost 3R. I was down like $69, $68. And so now 3R isn't good enough for me. Because if I get 3R, now I'm only positive like $5. And that's not good enough for me. I need a home run. Man, y'all, I wanted high of day again. I wanted this thing to go back up to high of day, and I was not selling less than that. I'm staring at 3R right in here. I might have been staring at 4R. It was bad. It was bad, man. What was this? Pretty sure I had 100 shares. It was bad, y'all. I stared at it right here, pulled back, stared at it right here, pulled back, stared at it right here, pulled back, and did nothing. Did not take profit, right? It gets worse. It goes back up to the same level that it clearly struggled at earlier. Same level. What did I do? I stared at it. Why? Because I want high of day. I want to have something to show for this arm trade besides break even. And I keep like, the reason I reduced my take profit, because I was actually shooting for 4R last week, but there was so many times that I was looking at 3R and 4R, and I just wouldn't take it because I wanted more. I felt like the stock had more room, and sometimes it did have more room, but I could have sold and it dipped back down before going to that new level, and I could have sold and bought back in and sold again. I think Google did it 3 times last week where it I bought it. It went up to target. I didn't sell it. Came back to VWAP and threw another entry. Went back up to target to 3R. I did not take it. It went back to VWAP again, and then went up to the 4R target that I wanted. Like that could have been 3 green trades instead of just a long, painful hold, for one win. So that's why I was like, okay, forget 4R. I'm just gonna take 3R. Period. Right? And today I messed up. If I would have taken the 3R here, that would have brought me back to break even, right? And now my head would have been cool, and I could have totally jumped all over this entry right here and took it again. But I didn't do it. After this, though, once it did it again and I realized what I did, now I'm like, okay, I got to get aggressive and start adding to my position so that I can take out 3R. I probably still wouldn't have took 3R out. I still would have waited for 4R at least. But anyway, I stopped out pretty much break even. So I think I lost like $2 more on the position, which took me from 68 to 70.33 on ARM. Totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. And now that happened, I'm looking at coin like, well, hey, coin's really bullish. Let me go make this right and trade coin. Before I get to that, let me take a couple notes on. I took notes on ARM. Did not take profit. Rule. Always take 3R. Period. Tomorrow, that's like, I'm good. I think I'm good at not taking trades below VWAP anymore. That's great. Focusing on making sure I'm not taking lower low setups, lower high, lower low setups. That's still a work in progress. But the taking profit at 3R, even if you're down, just take the trade. Take the profit. Like, that's going to be my focus tomorrow for sure. We get that in order, we're going to be somewhere. So anyway, like I was saying, I'm wanting back in blood at this point. Now I'm looking at coin. Coin, like, hey, coin's super strong. For sure, coin will be able to help me make this right. Right? Wrong. So, I mean, maybe if I got in right here, I realized I missed that. And so I see this, it goes high, and then I consider this a pullback, which, I mean, it's not bad. If I would have share sized aggressively enough, I could have taken out up here. It might not have been quite 3R, so I stopped out. I'm pretty sure at this point, I remember I put my take profit in way up here at high of day. It was like higher day or nothing. So I wasn't paying any mind to any of this. Stop me out. What do? Get right back in. Then I add here. Stops me out again. What do? I get back in with twice the risk. 2R. I'm risking $50 on this one. What happens? Stops me out again. Now I'm like, oh my God. Now I gotta go again with double risk since I just lost double, right? Like, did I just enter the casino? What happened? I get in again with double risk. Stop out again. This one, I was like, okay, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. And then what happened? The SPY started throwing those big red candles and just pulled it all down. The whole market went down. Stopped me out. My beautiful, beautiful home run play on coin reduced to minus 1R plus. That's how one mistake, one mess up can throw your whole day into a spiral. From my whole day into it. This happens. This is why it's super important to stick to the rules, not for the one trade that you're in, but for what it does to my mindset after messing up. It's so hard to just close out and be like, all right, it's all good. When I know the potential the potential that I had for today was very high. You know, it's so hard to just walk away. And yeah, man, I can't believe I erased all of that all of that earning on coin, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Gotta stick to the rules, man. The rules are safety. Absolutely. Okay, so NVIDIA. I think I might have done a rule break on this one, y'all. Yep. But, I mean, it did do a lot of work. It did do a lot of work. So, anyway, new rule was not taking any trades below the opening range, right? So this red candle here is the range, and as you can see, this is well below. So yeah, this was a rule break for sure. One that I got stopped out on my first entry. I don't know how I survived this one. I guess I did good. I had my stop below this candle when I got back in. But yeah, we got a higher high. But this pullback compared to this run is not really sufficient, right? Let it pull all the way back to VWAP. Just let it come all the way down. I've seen too many floaters that just kind of float near VWAP and then turn around, that I feel tempted to take these ones that are floating above VWAP, like I did this morning on crowd. Yeah, it's FOMO. It's just all FOMO, not wanting to miss the trade. So anyway, I stop out, but I get right back in when it breaks over this level that's kind of consolidating at, and I put my stop under the low. Pulls back. Boy, I'm sweating right here, but it worked out. It did not break my my stop loss, and it trades up, and I'm pretty sure that was probably well into 3R, but did not take it, and comes down here to this the lower range, right? The bottom side of the high volume support, and does my favorite tweezer pattern. So I added, and I think I moved my stop up under here, and I got a little worried again right here, but it turned around thankfully at this support line, and I went ahead and took my profits out up there, which was a bit over 3R. I made up for this loss and then plus 60. So this was actually a decent trade. However, I should not have been trading it because it is below the opening range. It does trade up over all of this trading volume. So, I mean, you could make a case for it, but better not to. Better to just, I'd rather miss the moves than break my rules. You know, I'm really realizing that the rules, my ability to stick to the rules, or my inability to stick to the rules, is what's holding me back more than anything else. More than anything else. Because the rules win. Whenever I come back and look at my trades, pretty much all my losses are rule breaks. Like, every now and then it's because the SPY went and dropped like crazy. But most of the time, my losses are due to my rule breaks. So, every day when I'm taking these notes, it's just another lesson. Like, yeah, bro, it's your rules, man. And I'm really believing in them more and more every day. That's why I didn't take any entries below VWAP today. I'm really happy for that. Now I just really got to take those 3R profits. Taking the 3R is more important than the higher high, higher low rule. Because I can get the 3R. Will I take it? It's like bananas to have that as a problem. So I did set an alert for the Reddit launch, and I actually had a good trade on it. It doesn't show my first entry. This was an ad up here, but I entered right here over the break of this candle, and I was up $50 on it. What I do? I looked at it. I regretted not taking that because I mean I was just playing around. Like I didn't have any. I don't trade IPOs usually. I didn't really have any real expectations. And when it opened, this is literally what the first candle looked like. It's literally like the candle takes up the whole chart, and it's just this one candle moving up and down, and then the next one comes, and then you got two candles that look like this, and it's like how do you even play off of that? But anyway, I put a little 10 shares in and stop over the break, and it went $5. Like I could have definitely took the $50, but I just didn't. I didn't really plan what to do. I just wanted to, participate or whatever, and it was a learning experience. Um, yeah. So anyway, I stopped out plus 30 cents. No big deal. It was fun though. These two were like last ditch efforts. Last ditch efforts to bring the day back. I didn't want to risk anything for real though, so a loss of $4 on that. And this guy here was really promising. I really thought something was gonna happen right here. I went in super light with my shares though. I had my stop loss way down here, and so I wanted to add. I could have been more patient with the ad, but this thing took off as soon as I got into it, which was cool. But yeah, stopped off. I didn't want to risk anything at this point, so I had my stop up pretty tight after that ad. Yeah, so I had nothing really to talk about on those trades, but the biggest, most glaring thing today is not taking your profits. It's on my rules. Take profit at 3R, all or nothing, period. And the reason I didn't do it was just because I was red already and I wanted profit on top of my 3R. But man, making your losses back is great. That's great. It don't need to be green on there. Just taking my negative 68 down to plus 5. That's great. But yeah, anyway, hindsight is always 2020. The charts always look very clear. They always look very clear at the end of the day. Shout out my guy Ben who stopped by and hung out with me today, man. It's always nice when you guys stop by and hang out. We were talking about why is it so hard in the moment, but you realize like in the moment, this is how it's happening. Like this candle shows up and it's moving around, and then the next candle shows up and it's moving around, and then the next candle shows up, and you're literally like, you're just playing it one candle at a time. And each of these candles, I trade on the 1 minute, so this is 60 seconds each of these candles. And that's the time you get to judge the setup, judge the situation, calculate your shares, and put your order in. So it's kind of intense. So sometimes I think about this and kind of give myself a break, but still got rules, man. You just got to follow the rules. That's why the rules are there, because this is intense, man. This is a lot, one at a time, bar by bar. Yeah, man, it's hard to make these decisions. So you get a good system, you have rules, and you stick to the rules, and you can make some money. So disappointing day, but at least not a max loss day. My broker didn't have to step in and save me. Negative $58, I can live with that. Learned some lessons. I'll pay $58 for the lessons I learned today, I guess. It's better than $100 or $300, you know what I mean? So live to trade another day. Tomorrow, no trades below VWAP. Higher high, higher low. 3R, take profit. Put the order in and don't move it. I don't care how bullish it looks, how fast it gets to the order. It doesn't matter. 3R, we putting it in the bank. Like straight up. Word is bond. Inshallah. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. If you hung out to the end of the video, you are a rare one. If you did that, man, please hit that like button. Throw me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And come hang out with me in the chat in the morning. I'm at the desk live about 9:20ish market time. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace.